The first year underground felt temporary. That's the strangest part. Even after the sirens, even after the explosions, even after watching the sky turn orange through a concrete blast door, part of me still believed life would go back to normal in a few weeks. Humans are good at denying reality, especially when reality becomes too large to understand. The bunker was never supposed to become home. It was supposed to be emergency shelter, a backup plan. Something paranoid rich people built because they feared the end of the world more than everyone else. Then the world actually ended. And suddenly, the bunker became the only world left. I still remember the sound of the door closing. People imagine dramatic movie sounds. Massive metal slamming shut with cinematic music. It wasn't like that. It sounded worse. Heavy. Final. Permanent. Like being buried alive voluntarily. At the time, there were 12 of us inside. 12 strangers sitting in artificial light, pretending not to panic. Nobody talked much the first night. We just listened. Distant rumbles above us. Emergency broadcasts cutting in and out through static. Then, eventually, nothing. No explosions. No sirens. No helicopters. Just silence. Real silence. The kind that makes your ears ring. That silence lasted 10 years. The bunker itself wasn't huge. Movies lie about bunkers. Most aren't luxurious underground cities. This one looked more like a concrete parking garage mixed with a hospital basement. Gray walls. Metal beds. Storage rooms. Air filtration systems humming constantly like mechanical insects. No windows. That's what destroys people first. Not fear. Not hunger. The lack of sunlight. Your brain starts forgetting what the sky looks like. At first, we tried to stay organized. Schedules helped. Breakfast at 7 a.m. Maintenance checks at 9. Exercise at noon. Humans create routines because routines create the illusion of control. And underground, control becomes religion. Every can of food mattered. Every battery mattered. Every liter of clean water mattered. People became obsessed with measurements, calories, air quality, power usage. The bunker transformed us into accountants of survival. The first month felt unreal. The second month felt uncomfortable. By month 6, people started changing. You can't lock humans underground indefinitely without strange things happening to the mind. Arguments became common. Tiny arguments. The kind that would sound insane on the surface. Someone used too much water washing clothes. Someone talked too loudly while others were sleeping. Someone took an extra can of peaches. In normal life, those things mean nothing. Underground, they became war. Because the bunker reduced existence to essentials. Food, air, space. That's all life became. And when survival becomes limited, human behavior changes fast. The first death happened during winter. At least we thought it was winter. Time became difficult underground. Without sunlight, days blur together strangely. You stop feeling seasons. You only know time is passing because the calendar says so. His name was Daniel. Heart attack. 43 years old. Too young. We buried him outside through the emergency hatch wearing radiation suits we barely trusted. I still remember seeing the surface for the first time after months underground. The sky looked wrong. Gray. Dusty. Empty. No birds. That's what terrified me most. No birds anywhere. Nature itself felt absent. The silence outside was different from underground silence. Outside silence felt abandoned, like the planet itself had died. After Daniel died, everything changed psychologically, because death made the situation real. Until then, part of everyone still believed rescue might come eventually, that government still existed somewhere above us, that civilization survived. But when we buried him in radioactive snow beside a dead forest, hope became harder to maintain. Years underground change people slowly. You stop remembering old life correctly. Memories become distorted, like dreams. I started forgetting things that once felt impossible to forget. The smell of rain, the feeling of wind, fresh air at night. Even sunlight became difficult to imagine accurately. Sometimes I'd close my eyes trying to remember sunsets. But eventually the memories felt artificial, like scenes from movies instead of real experiences I actually lived through. The bunker had artificial lights programmed to imitate day and night cycles. It didn't help. Your body knows the difference. People became pale. Sleep became strange. Some residents stayed awake for 30 hours straight. Others slept constantly. Mental health collapsed slowly underground. There's a reason solitary confinement destroys people psychologically. Humans aren't designed to live disconnected from the natural world. Now imagine doing it for years. One man started talking to the air filtration system, not jokingly, actually talking to it like it was alive. Another woman spent entire days organizing canned food labels alphabetically just to feel control over something. One couple stopped speaking entirely after year 3. They lived 20 feet apart in silence for 4 straight years. No argument, no explanation, just silence. The bunker amplified everything. Fear, loneliness, paranoia. But strangely, it also amplified small moments of happiness. A real cup of coffee became an emotional event. Finding old chocolate in storage felt like discovering treasure. One night, someone found a deck of cards hidden in a cabinet. People genuinely cried from excitement. That's what survival does. It shrinks your world until tiny things become enormous. By year 4, the bunker no longer felt temporary. That realization hit everyone differently. Some accepted it, others mentally broke. One man spent months convinced rescue teams were coming next week. Every week. For years. Hope became dangerous underground. Too much hope destroyed people faster than despair. Because every disappointment echoed forever inside concrete walls. The outside world became mythology. We talked about cities like ancient civilizations. Remember airports? Remember restaurants? Remember concerts? The internet? People laughed remembering how stressed they used to feel about emails and traffic. Old problems sounded ridiculous underground. One night, we spent hours describing grocery stores to the younger kids. Huge, brightly lit buildings full of unlimited food. Fresh fruit, cold drinks, candy aisles. The children listened like we were describing heaven because they barely remembered the old world anymore. That realization terrified me most of all. An entire generation growing up underground. Children who thought concrete ceilings were normal. Children who never felt rain, never climbed trees, never saw oceans. Imagine explaining beaches to someone who spent their entire life underground. How do you explain waves to a child born inside a bunker? Year 5 was the hardest. Not because resources were low, because monotony became unbearable. Every day looked identical. Wake up! Artificial lights, metal hallways, maintenance checks, rationed food. Sleep. Repeat. Human brains need novelty. Without it, time becomes distorted. Months disappeared instantly. Then single days felt endless. People stopped celebrating birthdays eventually. Aging underground felt meaningless. Nobody wanted reminders that life was disappearing inside concrete walls. And the bunker changed our bodies too. Weak muscles, vitamin deficiencies, permanent exhaustion. Even with exercise equipment, humans need real environments. The body understands when it's trapped. Sometimes late at night, I'd walk through the sleeping quarters listening to air filters hum in darkness. That sound became the heartbeat of our entire existence. If the filters stopped, we died. That knowledge haunted everyone constantly. Every strange noise created panic. Every flickering light felt catastrophic. Survival underground transforms normal inconveniences into existential threats. Then came year 7, the year people stopped talking about leaving. That was the moment the bunker truly became home. Nobody discussed when this ends anymore, because somewhere deep down, we understood. This wasn't temporary civilization. This was civilization now. And weirdly, humans adapted. That's the terrifying thing about people. We can normalize almost anything eventually. Even underground life. We created movie nights, tiny celebrations, inside jokes. People fell in love underground. People broke up underground. Life continued mechanically beneath the dead surface world above us. One woman gave birth during year 8. I still remember hearing the baby cry echo through concrete corridors. That sound felt impossible. New life inside a bunker built for the end of civilization. For the first time in years, people smiled genuinely. The baby changed morale completely. Because babies represent future automatically, and future had become difficult to imagine underground. But children force humans to continue believing tomorrow matters. That child became symbolic somehow. Proof humanity still existed, even buried beneath ruins. But survival always has a cost. By year 9, supplies became dangerously low. Not starvation level yet, but enough to create fear again. Rationing became stricter. Arguments returned. People grew suspicious of each other because scarcity changes morality fast. Civilization is built on abundance. Remove abundance, and humanity becomes unpredictable. Then finally, after 10 years underground, the radiation levels outside dropped enough for exploration teams. I volunteered immediately. Not because I was brave, because I couldn't survive another year underground. The bunker door opened slower than I remembered. Dust fell from the ceiling as the mechanism struggled after years unused. And then sunlight entered the bunker for the first time in a decade. People cried instantly. Actual sunlight, not artificial bulbs. Real sunlight. It hurt to look at. My eyes watered immediately. The outside world looked alien. Cities existed only as skeletons in the distance. Forests had overgrown highways. Cars sat abandoned beneath collapsed buildings. Nature had started reclaiming civilization slowly. The world wasn't dead, just changed. Different. Quiet? I remember standing outside, staring at clouds moving across the sky. Real clouds. For nearly an hour, nobody spoke. After 10 years underground, the sky itself felt supernatural. And the strangest part? I was scared of open space. After living underground for so long, freedom felt terrifying. The horizon felt too large. The sky felt endless. The bunker had damaged us permanently. Even now, years after leaving, I still sleep better in small rooms. I still panic in complete silence. And sometimes, late at night, I miss the hum of the air filtration system. Because for 10 years, that sound meant we were still alive.